morning, everyone. How are you doing? It is Wednesday. The sun was out for a little bit, but now it's spitting snow just a hair. Little tiny snowflakes, and then the occasional giant snowflake. So, I know a lot of people aren't, but I'm excited for snow. I like snow a lot, and everything's insulated, and then it's like so quiet and just beautiful, and I love snow. And a lot of people also hate driving in snow, which I understand. I do. I understand why. It's scary, it's slippery, it's unpredictable, and generally it's all of those things while you're surrounded by people on the highway. So I get it. I completely get it. The thing is, when you're out there by yourself on a country road or on a highway or on a 2-lane, you know, and you're just driving, it's just fun. I think it's fun. If your tires are good, if your all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive has enough weight behind it, you know, then it's just fun, and you feel confident, and it's not everybody's cup of tea, and I understand that. But boy, do I love the snow. And hopefully we get to see some this year. Last year was a little disappointing. We did get one nice snowfall. I think it was in December last year, and then it kind of, you know, that was kind of it, really. Just a bit of a bummer. We haven't really had a really heavy snowfall in a long time. The last time we had a heavy snowfall that I remember, I think I still had the Mitsubishi Sportback Rally Art. It was a wagon. It was all-wheel drive, and it had a really great all-wheel drive system by Rally Art. And it was I was plowing snow. I remember it wasn't the highest off the ground. It certainly wasn't Subaru height. Definitely not the Macan that I have now, the SUV height. But it was enough, you know, enough to clear speed bumps easily, enough to get up curbs easily. Steep curbs weren't that much of a problem. But this thing was pushing snow. It pushed snow to the point where the inner fender well, I think on the driver's side, got beat up so bad it started to drag, and it came off because the snow was just hitting it so hard. It's hard to go fast in snow, especially in the dark, because I believe I was coming home from work at that time. And the fender, just inner fender, the plastic just got beaten up and was dragging when I got to the garage. The inner fender wells were just full of snow because I had to get home because I didn't want to stay at the hospital operator switchboard overnight. I was not interested in that. I had to get home. So, and I'm sure we've all faced a lot of those times where we just have to get home, come hell or high water, and yeah. So, yeah, I would like for it to snow. It's pretty around here when it snows, but I know a lot of people don't like snow. And that's fine. So hopefully for you it won't. But hopefully for me it will. We can do that, right? Crusader Cup today, 32 grams-ish, a little under. Oh, gosh. A little under, not too bad. Actually, I think it was like 31.7, so we got a little bit more out of the Puerto Rican coffee that I had yesterday. By the way, that whole episode yesterday was a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing it. It was great. A couple of thoughts after the fact and a couple of things that I found out. Thoughts-wise, you have to drink it fairly quickly. Not like in like 2 minutes, but I would suggest if it takes longer than 15, 20 minutes for you to get down a cup of coffee, you're probably going to have a bad time because at the end, when I was editing, I took like the sip before the last sip, and the fact that it was a little cold wasn't the problem. It was that there was still kind of stuff at the bottom, and it wasn't coffee. It's a little eggy. So just forewarned, while it's still hot is probably the best way to drink that coffee, and probably before things start settling in a way that's not pleasing. So maybe you got about 15 minutes before it gets before it gets to that point. Also, it is either Scandinavian or Swedish egg coffee. However, it doesn't come from Sweden or Scandinavia. I almost said Switzerland. Sweden or Scandinavia. It actually comes from the immigrants who immigrated to the Midwest and some of the northern states at the time. So it's just a concept that they came up with here. I assume they used eggs to clarify a lot of things where they're from. So they just decided that they were tired of having these things in their coffee. How do we make that better? Okay, we'll try this for clarification, and it turned out tasting better. That's my guess. I don't know the exact history. I just know that I went and I took a look while I was editing, and it's not from Europe. It's actually from here in the United States. It was just that those immigrants brought the concept of clarification with egg here and applied it to coffee. So that's that whole thing. It comes off kind of as like a hardship thing. We're out of paper. What do? Well, let's try an egg. It worked on the radiator last week. Why not try it on coffee? It's a MacGyver thing. What do I have on hand right now that will get me what I need? Hopefully. So it's just what it kind of sounds like. So. But yeah, I took a look just because I was a little curious about the whole thing, and yeah, it didn't come from Scandinavia. It actually came from the immigrants while they were here in America, and they had it was a whole process. So that I thought was pretty cool, very interesting. So what we're gonna do is we've got 32 grams here. We're gonna add our 400 grams of water to this, and then we're gonna let it do what it's supposed to do, right? Absolutely. Anything else going on? Not really. Got some stuff I need to do this afternoon. Kitties are out of kitty treats. Kitties must have kitty treats, so I must go get treats. Maybe some Christmas stuff. Yeah, maybe some Christmas stuff. We'll see. We will see if I want to venture out any further. This thing is getting... I've gotten to the point now where I've got the... once you edit this into a timeline, the program exports it, which means it makes all of those things into one and puts them in a file format that is easily readable and uploadable. So that part that was taking a little longer than I would have liked has actually gotten to the point where I've got it where it'll develop it and it'll come out in 4K, but it doesn't take as long. The problem now is YouTube. YouTube took about 2 hours to process the darn thing, or at the very least upload it yesterday. So that's really annoying and aggravating to have to deal with. We'll give it a nice little bloom. It's always fun. Do that for about 30 seconds. So yeah, I've got one part of it down. Now I need to figure out if there's any way to make it faster to upload. I honestly don't think so. The whole program, the program that I'm using does it all at once. It does the export into a file format, and then it automatically goes to YouTube and uploads it for me. So I don't have to wait for it to stop and then drag something into YouTube and then wait for that to start. So it's all kind of smoothed out and streamlined, which I really, really, really like. The problem is that it's just the whole process is just taking a lot longer than it kind of used to, I think. You know, it's like 45 minutes to get a 4K video processed, whereas in the other one, I just don't think it took as long. Give it a little bit of time to draw down a little bit. I just don't think it took nearly as long, which, you know, it wouldn't be so bad if I didn't start streaming again. So I'm streaming. I want to start at like 2:30, 3 o'clock. And yesterday I didn't get to start until 4:30 because of all the, and while it's uploading, the computer does not want to do anything. It is in bite me mode. I am not 450 because I said so. 460, oops. Oh well. Overzealous with the poor. But, that's a good swirl. I don't know. It's weird, but it's okay. It's all right. We're working things out. I like streaming. I love it when people come in, say, nobody's watching you, blood, and then immediately leave and give me a thumbs down. It's my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing. And then I go back 3 days later, and it has triple the number of viewers that was watching it before. So I get a lot of people that come in after the fact and watch it, which I love. I love that. Interaction is great. Back and forthing is great, especially if they know the game and we can talk about things, and especially if they're not terrible people. That always helps. You're just as likely to get one or the other on the internet anymore. Well, I think to start with, but definitely nowadays is a little annoying. I guess I could have stirred it. I don't know. That bed's not awful. I don't. It's okay. Don't cry over bad beds. It'll be fine. We'll be all right. Oh dear. Trying to think of anything else that might have happened during the Comic Con that I didn't talk about. No, it was just an utter joy. It was fun. Feet hurt like crazy. My left foot is, I don't know. I can walk on it for an extended period of time, but then if I get off of it for like 10 minutes and I go to stand up on it, there's just shooting pain up my heel and across the bottom of my foot, and it's just, it goes away when I go to sleep. Strangely enough, I'm off my foot, but when I go to sleep and then I wake up, the pain is relatively gone, more or less. And I don't know. It's just really, it is a strange thing to grow old and wrestle with pains and aches and mental problems and that kind of stuff. So we make do and we do the best with what we can. So that's what this is. This is doing the best that I can. Hopefully you get something out of it, and it's entertainment at the very least. Making coffee is the second part, but except for the fun things. And yesterday was a lot of fun. I really had fun making that egg coffee. I went ew and uck and gross and blah blah blah. But you know, in reality, it's a fun experiment when you find that kind of stuff and you're like, wow, does that work? You know, and you're not doubting the person really that's on the TV showing you going through the motions and then trying it. You don't really doubt them per se. You're just like, how would that work out for me? And so, because everybody's different, everybody's tastes are different, everybody's heights are different, everybody walks differently, everybody talks differently. You know, it's just, everybody's different. So the idea that somebody in like Wisconsin can try this egg coffee and be like, this is great, but then I'm in Ohio. So it's like, well, I don't know if my Ohio mouth will like that. So sounds weird, but I stick by it. I stick by it. Oh, good morning, Crusader Cup. It is wonderful to see you. I think I'm going to get coffee for Christmas. Mainly because while I was there for Thanksgiving, the FedEx guy dropped off the Bones coffee that my mother ordered for me. And it was in a box, and it just said Bones Coffee on the side, and she was carrying it up the driveway, and I'm like, who got coffee? And she looked at me funny. So that was a good time. So I'm probably going to get more coffee. I know. I said, if you get me more coffee this year, this is what I would like. And I'm almost at a Crusader Cup, and there are 2 more Indiana Jones flavors that I saw that I'm like, that might be fun to try. So I'm almost out of this, so not too much longer. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, just so much goodness. And it's not everybody's bag. There are people that really want a nice pure cup of coffee. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know, but at the same time, if an individual enjoys this, you know, they should continue to enjoy it and be allowed to do so without being molested, you know? You can suggest things, you know, open up, expand your palate. Maybe you'll like this. If you like a nutty, chocolatey, caramel kind of flavor, you know, maybe you'll like this coffee that's just coffee and has nothing added to it. And, you know, maybe they will, maybe they won't. But, you know, that's how you do it. You don't just say that coffee sucks. You need to drink this coffee. That's not appropriate. That's not, you know, I will look at a coffee and I will say, God, that tastes terrible to me. That doesn't mean that I'm saying don't try it. You know, that's more of a review. That's more of a suggestion. And, you know, I probably would say, you know, boy, this coffee doesn't taste good to me. And I have with that one mocha or caramel or whatever the heck it was from Crimson Cup. I hated it. It tasted terrible. I probably won't drink it again. But that doesn't mean necessarily, you know, that you wouldn't like it, and if you saw it in a store, you shouldn't buy it. That's not what this is about. This is about me making coffee and bitching, basically, is what this is all about. It's therapy. It's not a review show. I know sometimes it seems like I've delved into reviewing stuff, but essentially, all of my opinions are my own and don't necessarily reflect what you should or should not do. You know, I mean, that's everybody's personal experiences are their own. And though they may be similar to other people's, we all experience them in a different way. So we should always look at someone else going through the same experiences that we are with empathy, but not with judgment, because they're handling it differently. You know, that's silly. And that's a thing that's been going on for eons, you know. Ook got his foot run over by a stone wheel they were using to grind grain, and has to lose his foot. Well, Barry over here, he had his foot run over, but he doesn't have to lose his foot. So, you know, Ook, you need to grow up. You know, that's an extreme, but it's, you know, it's similar. Ook's got to lose his foot. I'm glad Barry doesn't have to lose his foot, but Ook has to lose his foot because even though it was the same thing that happened, it was more damage. So, hi. Hello, Indy. Would you like to come here? Come on. Hi, bud. What you doing, Indy? We'll leave you with a kitty. Although I wouldn't leave you with him. He's very irresponsible. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Drink some coffee. Sit down for a minute. And remember, you are not alone. Regardless of how it seems. See you later. Bye. Say bye.